What's going on, everybody? Evan, the Diablo 2 enthusiast here, bringing the Diablo 2 gameplay commentary. And this time we're going to be covering the latest character I finally managed to put together, which is the Paladin. Several weeks ago, I managed to finally finish crafting an Enigma here in game through a lot of painful trading. But we'll talk about how I got there in another video, because it was mostly through trading. But this is the build we're working with right now. We've got a very poorly rolled Heart of the Oak. The resistances can roll 30 to 40, 31, not good. We have a poorly statted Shaco for defense, but doesn't really matter that much. Obviously, we have an Enigma and a pretty high roll Mage Plate, so this is very good. This is very, very good. This is a Paladin Spirit Shield with a decent mana roll, low magic absorb, but most importantly, we have a 35 FCR and the 45 resist all. We have a placeholder amulet because I don't have enough trade materials to get a Morara's Kaleidoscope yet, so for now, we're holding this for the stats and the resistances. Stone of Jordan, very, very nice. Reasonable Mage Fist. I haven't upgraded these or anything like that. I probably will eventually. We've got, Arachnid, of course. And then these are pretty interesting. These are perfect fire resistance altars. So these have good run walk, a lot of life, but most importantly, we've got the 50 fire resist, which is good because Spirit has crappy resist. We have a low rolled Annihilus. We have a decent resistance roll, but low roll attributes on our Paladin Shield. And we have a pretty decent Merc layout. We've got a Mage Plate Treachery. This is probably a really bad base for a Merc. It's not ethereal. Merc has enough strength to waste something like an Archon Plate, but I made this a while back for general use across my characters, so I just slapped it over here until I can get something together. Here's an Andes, perfect life leech roll, not ethereal once again, low strength roll, but we do have a Rao Ruin socket in it, pretty good. And this is actually pretty good. In general, I don't like Colossus Bulge for insight bases. So, for those of you that aren't familiar with the issue of making an Insight and a Colossus Bulge, Colossus Bulge takes 200 strength to equip, even ethereal. And so, if you take this off, your Merc doesn't have enough strength to actually carry this thing until, ultra high levels. We're talking, up in the, I think, 92 or 93 is when you can actually equip an Insight if you don't have some sort of armor or something to help get in there. So, that said, I got a good price on it because it's not typically desirable by most players. So level 17 meditation, 4 critical strike. All in all, pretty well put together. Definitely worth the runes I trade for it. On swap, we have a Wizard Spike, which I don't really use much. I would like to swap this over to a CTA, but I don't have Call to Arms yet. So, go to my character screen. On a Paladin, you pretty much always want to go for 75% block with Holy Shield active. Stat-wise, you've got Holy Shield. We're pumping that with our leftover points. Blessed Hammer as our main offensive skill is maxed. We've got a point in Fanaticism to help the Mercenary. We'll demonstrate that later. It's actually pretty important. We've got Max Concentration. We've got a point in Salvation, which honestly I haven't put it on since I've taken it, but it's randomly very useful to give to the party if someone has a higher concentration than you, whatever. And we have Vigor and Blessed Aim Max, which are the synergies to Blessed Hammer. So, stat-wise, most of these don't really matter that much. I'd like to get a slightly higher Magic Find, which could easily be done with some chance cards and things like that, but I am shooting for the 125% faster cast rate breakpoint, which is I really think the way the Hammerdin should be played. We need to throw some charms in here to round out the build a little bit for faster hit recovery, but, another time. I'm saving these stat points because I don't know how many stat points in the end I'll need for max block. Because for those of you that don't know, the way the blocking percentage is calculated, it will, the need to put points in a dex will increase as your character gets higher level. So, I'm sure I could spend most of these and be fine, but better safe than sorry. I actually don't need the HP. Even without Battle Orders, I have 1,600 HP. So, anyway, let's jump into it. So, the nice thing about having a geared Hammerdin, even if it's not perfect gear, but having reasonably good gear on a Paladin is, once you have Teleport, ooh, that fingered that, you can get around the world still keep pretty safely. Dare I say, if I had a CTA for Battle Orders, it would take a lot to kill my character or my mercenary, but We don't have those things quite yet, but we're still very tanky, especially with 75% block. This is a dangerous room, so we just want to keep moving. If we had a lower FCR, I think we could have wanted some trouble there, but thankfully we have the FCR. So we made it to the throne. Also, in public Baal games, you can almost always get to the throne safely. Okay, so dangerous. This is a pretty bad spawn of ads for Baal. I say that because glooms are not what you want to see. These are dangerous. They do a lot of damage to my Merc and I. So my Merc is taking a beating. Doesn't normally take this much of a beating, but like I said, this was a tough spawn. Alright. Burning Soul, the most dangerous things in the universe. Alright. So we got plenty of rejuves in the inventory just in case something like that should happen. So when fighting Baal's minions of destruction, solo, or really in any match, you want to stand close enough that your hammers are all hitting, but you don't want to clip either of the pillars around you. Now, this is where fanaticism comes in. So these guys are actually going to be immune to magic. That is not good for us. Because hammers don't do anything to these guys, and I can't break that magic immunity very easily. So, you pop fanaticism, and provided your mercenary has some decent gear, he can beat him down. You see me fire off redemption here to grab some quick heals. Another thing to do if you absolutely refuse to put the point into fanaticism, because you only use it for Baal and it's just not worth it to you, is you can leave redemption up and that'll eat all the corpses so they don't get revived, and eventually your Merc will get through them, but I think you can spare the point on a Paladin for fanaticism. So far, no good drops. Cryptic Sword has the potential to be good. I actually don't know what this is, but I'm sure it's not good. Fascinating. Yeah, that's not good. We're a little bit out of position. Let's get back over here and get our hammers going. You want to be pre-spamming the hammers, so these guys typically just spawn in and die. It's great. Alright. That's not ethereal, so I don't really have a whole lot of use for it. I might carry it for a minute here and see if there's anything. See, once again, we are not ready. So our Merc might get in some trouble here. Alright, we got him. Not sure what's in the cube. Other random bad rares we found. I don't think I've ever dropped this before. 42% magic find. No, that's interesting. You could do a lot worse. Obviously, I'm not going to take that with me. Okay. I don't imagine I have a lot of use for that Cryptic Sword either. Not being ethereal. If it was ethereal, that Cryptic Sword would be great to make an Oath base in. So, chase Baal around. Alright. So once again, we've got some things here. I'm not sure what they are. I doubt they're any good, but I'm still not sure what they are. Blast Spark. That's not good. Those are good. Alright, so as you can see, this build can solo Baal pretty easily. Which is great. I mean, it's nice being able to solo Baal, because it gets you a variety of items that might be useful to you. Including Essences and things like that, but let's go to Mala. Those are actually pretty decent gloves, but they're not worth anything. Okay. So what I like to do is, I like to, when I'm in Act 5, farm Neolithok 2 for a potential key. As you don't stop on the uniques in here, but if I jack myself up here and get lost, I'll stop and hit the chest on my drive-by there. Down to the Halls of Naught. Right, here's Neolithok. So for those of you that don't know, Neolithok kills through Corpse Explosion. So, once again, Redemption is absolutely fantastic, or if you can get a good line of sight on him, just click him and get him quick. Top off. Now, typically, I end my little Act 5 farming trip here with Pendle, and then I'm done. I make a new match. Getting charge spammed here. So that was dangerous. Alright. So, what we're going to do is Now, just because we can, I'm going to go farm Chaos Sanctuary solo. We're not going to do the Seal Pop method. We're going to long run it just to show that we can once again. This is one of the best things about making Hammerdin. I actually don't find it super fun to play because the hammers have a hard time in blind spots and air corridors, and it's, I don't know. I actually find it super annoying to play, but you can just farm so many areas without needing an Infinity. Even without Enigma, you can farm a lot of these areas slowly just by running around Vigor. So it really is such a versatile and easy to gear class, and that makes it kind of fun to play. I'm actually silencing my phone. I had hoped that the messages were going to stop coming in, but they're not. Alright. Sorry about that, everybody. So, one thing that's nice about this, too, is you do not need to have these items to farm Chaos. Hammerdin is fantastic in Chaos. There is no naturally magically immune enemies in here, so you can actually do this whole thing without a Mercenary. Although, I would not recommend playing a Hammerdin without an Insight, just because it's inconvenient. One of the nice things about farming this area, too, is you get the great opportunity to, at the end of each area, you can pop Redemption and top off. It's pretty crazy. Theoretically, the point of Redemption is an optional part of playing the Hammerdin. You can skip it, but I think doing so is just totally bananas. You have so many leftover points. I don't think there's anything you could use that would be better. Theoretically, some people like to put more points into Holy Bolt so you can kill magic immunes, but I think it's better just to take the point fanaticism and go in for your Merc. Alright. So there's probably not... There are very, very few areas you can't farm. Act 2 tends to be the place you don't want to mess around in too much. Like, I would not farm Ancient Tunnels because there's so much magic immunity there. And we're amped. We take a lot of damage under amp damage. This is what I mean, where I try to teleport right under him to get the hits, but kind of missed. Anyway. Get up here. Hammer the ghost down. Get the rare heavy boots and hope their tri resists. Nice is they group under the Merc, they just get totally destroyed by the hammer spin. And the enemies that walk into the hammers, same concept. Magic Circlet, we'll pick that up. Might have 10 FCR and be worth something. I doubt it though, and ooh, it's ethereal. Yikes. Alright. When you're clearing Chaos, it's usually quicker to do the Seal Pop trick, which I'm not going to cover in this video, or to just kill the big packs and move on. It's not always the most efficient use of your time to kill everything in here, but it's partly for demonstration purposes of, once again, the idea of... I don't even play Hammerdin that often, so I'm not, a super high-skilled Hammerdin player, and I'm still just shredding these areas on P1 difficulty. It doesn't get terribly hard on P8 either, because the fundamentals are still the same. You might have to use a couple rejuves if you get the wrong mobs on you. The CTA might wind up being more important than just because everything does so much damage in high player counts. Alright. Spin to win. Alright. Come over it. Hit this. Right. Back to the middle of Chaos Sanctuary and wait for Diablo. What's nice about this is obviously you can farm any boss in the game for essences, so if farming essences is your jam, or you just want to magic find random bosses and have access to everything that drops in essence, this will get you there. I'm also not sure what the reinforced mace is, but I'm sure it isn't good. Let's check real quick. Yeah, that's not good. None of these are good. Alright, we're out of here. Do a couple bonus kills here on the Council. A lot of people farm Council for high ruins with Hammerdin. It's relatively safe. Now, my Merc is not geared properly for Council, so my Merc may just get positively crushed. And that's fine. does. I can revive him, or I can just duck into the... not too bad so far. Let's go ahead and top off. None goes up. It's probably useless, but we'll check it. Oops. Yep. Grab the jewel, even if it's not good. Good for crafting. Alright, we're out of here. On to Mephisto. We did go the correct direction. When you're farming Mephisto, you always go in the direction of your shield, which we did. We'll come back for the council once Mephisto is down. Yeah, nothing exciting here. We'll take the cap on the off chance it's good, because it's a rare, but it's probably not. Nada. Check Mephisto's armory here. Nada. 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 Get him! Oh, flawless amethyst. Now that, however, is very good. Amethyst is the most valuable crafting material due to the recipes it's used in. Cracked mage plate, that's not good. Holy freeze is not good for armor. Let's get that down. Like I said, at this point we're just kind of farming these things for fun. I don't think we have any space left in our inventory. Alright. We are done here. We hit this chest over here? No. Now we have. Alright. We'll go Smackdown Andariel. Well, here. We'll do Arcane Sank and farm. Woodless Wall. It's awful. Right. So if you're going to farm Arcane Sanctuary a lot, because we're just doing it here because we're kind of demonstrating we can farm so many things. I would get a specialized character to farm this, though, like a Javazon or something to that effect. I love Javazon in here. Provided you have an Infinity, which I do not, but I have definitely tested it on some of the... Let's get this out of here. Looking for... I'm actually looking for something with like +3 enchant, +2 to 3 fire skills for my enchantress. Arcane Sanctuary is a lot of ghosts. This is actually a pretty reasonable place to farm if that's your jam. I farm this a lot actually, but not on this character. All right. Enough ruin, crafting ruin. Of course, the real reason we're here is to try to farm and keep hate from the summoner. That way we can try to do Ubers for giggles. Alright. Done here. Finish things off with the Andariel. Why not, you know? I don't know the Catacombs maps very well. I don't run Andariel much anymore. Never really did. I've gotten probably some of my best drops from Andariel since I started playing Resurrected, but I still don't think she's statistically what she should be running, but I seem to do well from her, but, luck is going to be luck on this game. Easy. We'll end the run by killing Countess. Just kind of demonstrates that you can basically farm all of the popular farming locations, besides like ancient tunnels and pits with this guy. But I think if you want to farm Chaos Sanctuary, you go with this guy. You know, unless you just really, really want to farm ancient tunnels, I think this gear Hammerdin is like the choice. Which it's not necessarily new information, but some folks have asked me, you know, what do you like to farm with? So I like to farm with some really niche stuff, like 200 FCR Nova Source to farm like Countess and some other specific things, or I like to farm something like this where I can go to different areas of the game and generically find what I want to find. Oops, there we go. Forgot the golden rule. When you're going to farm the Countess from the waypoint, from wherever you're entering from once you're in the tower, from the stairs on each level, you go left. Most of the time, it will get you downstairs quickly. Now, sometimes, 3 lefts makes a right, but by and large, this is mathematically the quickest way to go. As you can see, my mana has been burned. Alright. Go ahead and top off my mana real quick. Alright. That was a pretty good haul right there, actually. Ral, Orton, and Hell Ruin. Very good crafting runes. Large Charm here, which these are usually trash, but pick it up anyway. Now there's a bunch of weapons racks I want to hit before I get out of here. So far, they have not been good. It's not good. Ah. Alright, so that's the end of the run. So, in this one we ran Countess, Diablo, Andario, Mephisto, Council, Chaos Sanctuary, and of course Baal, Pendle, and Neelathok. Summoner. Basically, so with a good farm Hammerdin, you could really, in cows, and we're not going to do a cow run on the video here, but cow run would be no problem too. Cows melt to hammers. It's not the most efficient cow farmer, but very good. I think I want to describe a Hammerdin that's geared correctly. You're basically in a position to farm almost every area in the game, albeit not as quickly as something that's more specialized. For example, you go to farm cows with Hammerdin, you'll do just fine, but a strong Blizzard Source, or preferably a Javazon, would do better. If you want to farm Arcane Sanctuary, I would think you should go to something very niche, or you should go to Javazon once again. Chaos Sanctuary should be Lightning Source, although Lightning Source theoretically farms everything like a Hammerdin, only better, but it's just so expensive to gear. Way more fragile too. But I don't know. I think this class is great. I think this is a great first build to shoot for. Everyone probably starts with a source with a free teleport, but this is a reasonable choice as well. Or start with your source and then gear this second. I waited a good long time to gear my Hammerdin because honestly I don't like playing the class, but the versatility is just out there. You can farm essences, you can farm keys. You can actually do a hybrid Hammerdin that can actually take on the Ubers as well. So you can Hammerdin to farm most areas and a semi-effective Uber killer. I don't know, I can't recommend it enough. If you can handle the most repetitive gameplay ever of this right here. Alright, I hope everyone enjoyed watching, and I'll see everyone next time.